We mean serious business.
We mean serious business.
3, 2, 1.
What up? What up?
What up, guys? Welcome back to the Toolbox fam.
Toolbox fam, what up, what up?
What up? That's the new name. We have figured it out.
Yeah.
Now that I am a soon-to-be Toolie, I am part of the Toolbox fam. You guys are part of the Toolbox fam. We are all Toolbox
She
fam.
only gets half of the Toolie, though, until the wedding. She's only a tool right now.
Yeah,
so
just
she's
a tool.
She'll get the E at the wedding. So
BT dubs. Still waiting on more hashtag ideas for the wedding. If you have any hashtag ideas,
hashtag,
comment them down below.
the one I like the most so far is hashtag yours Toolie.
Like yours truly.
That's a
yours
good
truly.
one.
That's a good one.
Yes.
There's been some pretty good ones, I will say, but still waiting to find the favorite. We still haven't decided on one.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Violetta.
Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you throw a like here and there. Watch our other videos.
Our last video, right here, is where we announce that we are moving to
Nashville! Yeehaw! We're so cheesy.
So that's the video that we announced that we're moving to Nashville. This is kind of the part 2 of it. It is the reason why we are moving to Nashville, why we're deciding to move out of California.
Yes, so this video is the why, not necessarily the context of why we're doing it, but kind of
specifically us, but what motivated us.
Exactly. What motivated us, what we want to get out of this video today is maybe a little bit of encouragement, motivation to see from our angle of why we're doing this, and maybe it can impact you.
First of all, I want to start this off with a quote that stood out to me. I posted this a couple weeks ago, kind of hinting at the decisions we were making, but kind of not. It says, 10 years from now, make sure you can say you chose your life, you didn't settle for it.
That's so good. What does that mean to you?
To me, I feel like that is how I aspire to live my life every day. I want to build a life that I desire and a life that's impactful. You know that feeling when you just feel something in your gut and you just want to live it out, and you want something more out of your life.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, and that is how I want to go about every day, you know?
Dang. I love you.
That's basically my motivation behind why I'm so confident in this move and what I'm deciding to do.
Yes.
What does this quote mean to you?
The quote means to me that 10 years is one of the thing that points out to me. 10 years down the road from today, are you going to look back on 10 years from now and regret what you could have done, or be happy, be appreciative of what you have done and where you've come? So when you get to an older age, again, doesn't matter what age you are. We're 22 and 23 years old, which is pretty young. And it really doesn't matter what age you start at. Like I always say, Gary Vee, someone that I always look up to and talk about, started when he was 35.
Yep.
35, when he started to follow out his dreams and what he actually wanted to do. Another example, her parents moved here from Russia when they were what?
Like 27.
27 with
I think my dad was almost 30.
Yeah.
And they had jobs and careers in Belarus. When they came to America with just me, they had a child. They had zero knowledge of the language. They didn't have any money, and they had to learn from square one the English language. So basically start over elementary school at the age of 30. How humbling is that?
Right.
And now they're business owners and they're so successful. So they started basically from scratch at 30 and have come such a long way. If that doesn't tell you that you're still young and able to do things that you desire to.
Right.
And I just think, like, if they never made that decision, if they never pulled the trigger and came to America, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And I can't even imagine that. We wouldn't be together. I wouldn't be a toolbox. I just think, like, the things that I'm doing today, I'm going to look at it 10 years from now. Am I going to be feeling regret, or am I going to be like, wow, I was
Felt that.
uncomfortable in those situations. I went through hardships.
Yeah.
I put myself in the uncomfortable to get to where I am at today.
Yeah.
And I don't want to ever look back with regret.
Yeah. And another big thing is, are you building what you want to build? We talk about it all the time, building a legacy. Building a legacy, build the life that you want. That's what that quote says. Building the life and looking back on it and knowing it's the life that you want. All right, now that we're done rambling, let's try to stay on topic with these notes that we made and get to it in no order.
The first point of why we're moving out of California is for growth and opportunity for us individually and in our relationship. We're, newly engaged. We feel like going out of our comfort zone and experiencing new things is going to make us grow. I feel like you can't really grow much if you're stagnant in the same place. I've been here for the past 5 years in San Diego because I went to college here, and I've grown so much individually these past 5 years that I'm ready for my next step to grow.
And you pointed out the growth in the relationship, but I think growth individually at this new place that we're going, we think that there is a lot of opportunity there. And we really don't have to do much explaining about the opportunity in Nashville. Everybody knows that there's a ton of growth and opportunity there. And it's on the up and coming.
Point number 2 is getting outside of our comfort zone. That basically, for me, is, you go through seasons of life where it's okay to be in that comfort zone because you're growing in that season, in that specific place.
Right.
For us, it was, him working his day job at a restaurant and me working at Lulu. That was comfortable for us. We were living, we were making enough money to live in San Diego, to live paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
And we weren't able to save too much because cost of living here is very expensive. But we were comfortable and we were growing in that season, preparing for the next season. And now I feel like that we're engaged and we are entering a new season of life. As an engaged couple, we're ready for the next level.
Biggest advocate over here for getting uncomfortable. I'm gonna be honest, 4 years of college and doing one thing and playing basketball every day, you get comfortable. Working a job, the same job every day, and you get comfortable. But like, some of that is good for people, but we know for us that we want to get uncomfortable. We want to challenge ourselves. We want to continue to grow. And for this past year, we've been working our day jobs and working on this stuff on the side. We are so passionate about content creating, which we learned from forcing ourselves to be uncomfortable. We would have never realized how much we love this if we didn't go buy the camera, if we didn't start the YouTube channel that was so uncomfortable at first, if we didn't continue with it, even when we weren't getting like recognition that we wanted.
I think the biggest thing is having something that you love and doing it on the side. We were able to work our day jobs and that was comfortable for us, but we continued doing this as a hobby just because we loved it, and we always felt in our gut that this is something that we want to be doing and potentially doing, and going further in. But we needed to stay in that season of life and save up money and build ourselves up. And now we're stepping into the new season where we are going to be uncomfortable again. Something I mentioned in the beginning of that point was cost of living, because we weren't able to save up money living here with our day jobs. But moving to Nashville, cost of living is a lot cheaper. That brings us to point 3. And it's makes sense for us.
It's a big
as
one.
an engaged couple,
It's a big one.
we are trying to save up money for a wedding, for future house, for future. And cost of living in California, as you guys know, is rough.
Yeah. Now we're transitioning into where we're just going to be me and her, and it's a little bit more expensive.
Next point is our challenging ourselves to just go for it.
This kind of intertwines with some of the stuff we've already pointed on, but if you just listen to challenging yourselves to go for it. Back to the comfortable thing. When you're comfortable, you don't want to go for things. Like, it gets to a point where you just have to send it and go for it. Like, you can't stop. If you wait too long, you're going to constantly think in your head, what could have been, what could I have done? I didn't do it, instead of just freaking going for it. And it's an internal feeling. You will feel it.
If you have that gut feeling and you want to do something, and you feel like if there's something there that you want more of, go for it.
Yeah.
That is that feeling that's telling you to do something.
We wanted to encourage you guys with today, like, if you're constantly feeling like something's just in here. We prayed about this a lot because we were always talking about it. We always felt it on our hearts to do something like this and to go to this specific place. And if it's constantly hitting at you, you just
have to give in.
Give in and just freaking
Go for that
go
gut
for
feeling,
it.
yeah.
Go for it.
Something that I wanted to mention is you're gonna go through hardships, and every choice you're gonna make is gonna be hard. Choosing to work out is hard. Choosing not to work out is hard. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Choosing to eat healthy is hard, but choosing to eat unhealthy is hard.
It's going to be hard regardless. It's what hard you want to choose,
It's
right?
choosing your hard, yeah. You can be comfortable and, have it hard by being comfortable and whatever is going to come at you, or you can choose to be uncomfortable and choose the hard of being uncomfortable. But the beauty is what comes from that uncomfortable later down the road. So when you look back, years down the road, it's like, oh, I chose that hardship, that uncomfortable, because of where I've gotten to. And I think that right there of itself is like beautiful, and that's what encourages me every day. The hard that I'm choosing, I know, is going to lead me to the more beautiful things in life that I desire for.
The next point that I just
excited.
remembered, I'm so excited to freaking say this point. Taking risks, which is similar to what everything we've been talking about, but it is different. Because something to think about when risks, because when you think of that term, you're thinking spontaneous, like you're just going for it, putting everything on the side and you're just going to do it. But also something that I struggle with that. And I want my risks to be calculated. And this is something that she has taught me over being together, is to be spontaneous, because that makes me uncomfortable. It's easy for her to be spontaneous. And even moving out here to San Diego a year ago was uncomfortable for me and something very spontaneous. But looking back on it now, after doing that to where I am now today, and individually and us in our relationship, like we're freaking engaged. The growth that has come out of making that decision has been amazing. So I can't imagine not taking this risk that we're going to and just pushing off being calculated in a little bit of sense of saving and having those conversations with each other and praying about it and really thinking and diving deep about it. Like, yeah, there's calculated thoughts and prayers, but at the end of the day, you just got to take that risk and just force yourself into that uncomfortable position.
If we sat there and just thought about all the reasons of why not to do it, we would have come up with a list full of reasons why not to move. That's so easy for us to do, and it's crossed our mind, and we're like, why the heck would we drive across country and bring only one car full of stuff? Like, that is such a risk, and maybe it's not the smart choice. If we sat there and talked about it for months on end and gave it time and, figured out if it's the right thing to do, we would have not done this.
We would have talked ourselves out of it.
We would have talked ourselves out of it.
Yeah.
We would have chose the comfortable. We would have been like, why would we leave when we have a job and
family and
we have family and friends? We wouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
But when you put that aside and you're like, okay, I have this feeling, this gut feeling, I want to go for it. I trust God. I've been praying about it.
Yep.
And God's going to make beauty of whatever choice you make. That's going to lead you further than sitting there and calculating, if it's the right thing to do.
Say a lot for the people in the back
Should we
over
just
there.
leave it right there? Because I think that was pretty good within itself.
That was so good.
Yeah. So those are basically our reasons. We're freaking getting out of here. We're moving.
And another reason why is no California traffic.
No California traffic and no state income tax.
And another thing is hot chicken sandwiches.
We're gonna
You already
be on
know.
a diet.
No! What do you mean diet? We just had Chick-fil-A today.
There's a lot more reasons that are more personal to us that we didn't share. We just kind of wanted to give you guys that encouragement of why and how we just pulled the trigger and are making this spontaneous decision. Honestly, it wasn't a long time of planning, and the opportunities that have been coming up for us just all make sense.
Yeah.
So that's why we're moving. It's happening very fast, and if it was happening slower, we would have probably not done it. So
yeah, let's just finish with the quote one more time.
10 years from now, Make sure you can say you chose your life and you didn't settle for it.
Do not settle. Okay? But continue to follow along.
He didn't settle with me.
You're right. But continue to follow along with this new adventure that we're about to go on. We're super pumped.
Next video, we will be packing up and getting ready to go.
Yes, we're gonna bring you guys along for the entire ride. We love you, Toolbox fam. It's crazy we're calling you guys Toolbox fam because you're our fam. And you're a toolbox. You're not a tool. She's a tool. But God is good.
God is good, y'all.